Mhm. The delicate balance between transparency and security underscores the challenges of navigating global tensions in the era of space warfare.
The White House confirms Russia's development of an anti satellite capability, easing immediate concerns, but prompting debate over publicizing national security threats. House Intelligence Committee Chairman's cryptic statement sparked controversy and accusations of political motives, while concerns over U.S. satellite vulnerability persists. Let's go, David.
So I understand this particular issue has been in the media for a while now, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. First, the angle was that, oh, this is top secret information. Oh my God, you're saying the quiet part out loud. And then, of course, you had the military, you had the Biden administration say, hey, it's not that serious. However, again, like I said, this story is growing, growing, growing. And I saw a headline. I'm sorry, I did not read the article, but I saw a headline about concerns about an increase a space war race. I guess that's the way to say it.
Yeah,
Between Russia and America.
I think what you're referring to is the fact that Russia has been testing and looking at sending up a nuclear weapon that would generate an EMP to take out satellites, and they're testing this idea that this would be a way to be able to uh, take out the communications capability of an area. But they're also trying to work on how it won't, can they do it without it affecting them personally? And especially now that you have our space race where our government's moving out of the industry, and people like Elon Musk are getting into it.
Right.
And now you see several new satellites and several new technologies getting up there. So for us to realize that here again, Russia is taking advantage of, hey, there's a treaty. We're not supposed to do this, but we're looking at it. And now it's being revealed. Why is it being revealed at this time? That's kind of the question being posed. That's where the internal battle is, for who's got the upper hand. Should you have revealed it? Is it really happening? A lot of stuff. But the White House has confirmed it, and that's what sparked the debate. And then you get the cryptic information because people want you to be aware. They want you to have some knowledge, but nobody's coming out and putting their name on it.
Right. Right. And many good points there. The technology that they're talking about, I mean, some serious stuff. There has been some naysayers that it will be effective, and that there's no significant urgent threat now.
You'd have to live without your TikTok, my friend. I knew you'd get it.
Yeah.
You enjoy that.
Because we have been talking about TikTok so much. Oh my God. If there's ever a risk to national security, it's TikTok. And not in the way that it's been discussed.
Sorry, you can't have TikTok on your phone if you work at the Pentagon.
That's true. That is true. But it's going down a wormhole. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And if it wasn't because we're trying to increase or start and then increase our presence on TikTok as a company, I would have avoided. But Joel, oh my goodness.
I'm sure an investor in TikTok is Putin. You know, I'm sure he's got his investment in TikTok. It might
Yes,
not be for
and
his
the chairman.
might not be for his population, but I'm sure it's.
Mhm.
I mean, you do know that they have this really good relationship between China and Russia right now. It must be
Exactly.
all about TikTok and how well it's how well it's doing.
I would think the biggest concern for America would be its electrical grid, its
Yeah,
power grid.
well, it's the dependence. I think what should put the fear of U.S. citizens that if this is true and or it's already been confirmed that it's true, but the risk is how dependent we are, and this dependency, and as obvious as this dependency is, hey, we mentioned TikTok. It's because the algorithm given to the United States is different than the algorithm that's given in China because they don't want to dumb down Chinese people. They want to dumb down our audiences. And, or you could say, hey, our audience is just entertained by that different algorithm.
Right.
But it's really how dependent are we on these devices? There are young people. Here's one for you, David. Young people today, I do not ever see them go from point A to point B without a GPS.
Ah, yes.
I'll tell you, how often did you and I have to pull a map
Map
out
out. Yep.
when we were traveling? And it's
Oh,
like, how far do you go before you pull the map out?
oh.
Like, what? How much risk am I going to take before I figure out that I'm lost?
I remember trying to memorize forks in the road, the blue lines. Like, okay, anticipate going in this direction. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, how many miles based on the map. But there's going to be a fork in the road, and I'm wanting to go left instead of right, and just wait for it. Oh my goodness!
Oh, it going down 995, going down I-95. I would always remember in the map that there was a hard corner because
Right.
when you get into Jacksonville, you go under a bridge and it's a sharp corner.
Hmm.
Most of I-95 is pretty smooth,
Correct.
but if you hit that at a rainstorm and it's I've done it. Listen, thank God I was from Massachusetts because I
Good.
hit that thing and I'm going the speed limit and it's raining and I'm thinking I'm doing well, and next thing I know I'm on that off ramp type corner and my car is going 360. Thank goodness I didn't
Woo.
hit anybody, and thank goodness I realized that it was like snow, so you turn into it, not away from it. My wife wakes up and she goes, what just happened? Oh, nothing. As my knuckles are all
Oh,
white, and she's
yes.
looking at me knowing, hey, you just did something really
A
stupid,
whole
didn't you?
light just flashed.
But yeah, the GPS, the reliance on GPS, the reliance on some of these technologies, you know, how about the cars?
Mhm.
How about the cars and how
Vulnerable
dependent
they
they
are,
are?
right? Or Greg Abbott, Governor Greg Abbott, several years ago, having to face the fact that the majority of the power grid in Texas is separate from the national power grid, and then they had that storm that knocked power out for a good portion of time.
What do you mean when Ted Cruz was trying to leave to Mexico?
That's
Oh,
correct.
okay. I just wanted to double check. Is it?
Real
I can pick
smooth,
on
Ted.
my own people
Right.
sometimes.
And that showed again our antiquated systems being vulnerable to any type of national security threat from within or abroad. And you know, I understand it was Representative Turner of Ohio, Mike Turner from Ohio, who brought this particular issue to national attention, and regardless of its intentions, it's something that we should continue to discuss and make sure that we are addressing our vulnerabilities in our power grid, in the systems, the technology that make our economy go, that make America go.
It doesn't matter about funding for Ukraine or the things that, you know, this is something we should be concerned about. We should be concerned on both sides. What are we doing? Right? What are they doing? There's a lot of stuff the government does that we don't have any clue of. Um, but it's okay. It's okay. We need to make sure that we're aware of these things. So look, if Russia's doing it, then they need to stop,
Yeah.
and we need to come up with a good diplomatic solution. We need to have a ceasefire in Israel right now.
Correct.
We need to have we need to start working on a ceasefire in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Um, we're fighting without putting boots on the ground, but we're sending all this money and finding, you know, hey, well, we didn't send the money, so they're being beat by the Russians. Well, that's just talk, right?
Mm.
Let's talk about how we can stop it, how we can come to an agreement where we aren't having all these wars. So, like, share. I don't know if you have anything else, but I think that really what the whole point is we need to have better diplomatic efforts out there to make sure that we're making peace amongst our. I don't care what you think of Russia. You got to have a communication with them. You
That's
can
true.
put down Tucker Carlson for interviewing him and telling me it's propaganda, but at least he talked to him. It's more than what our president's doing right now. Look, the only way to stop Ukraine is to have a conversation with Ukraine and with Russia.
Okay. All right. And we'll like to have a conversation with you, our listeners, our viewers. We want to know what you think about this particular topic or any topic. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Again, we want to hear the facts, and we don't want to hear about your feelings because your feelings are bullocks, as Representative Mike Turner would say. Let's have an honest conversation about the facts. As Joel said, please like, comment, share our content, all of our content across all of our properties. The Morning Constitution, the David Washington Show, Countertop Politics, and of course our flagship property, our flagship podcast. You can't make this shit up. And don't forget our blog, the Informer newsletter. There's so much that's coming. There's a lot. We're scaling up. We're getting there. But we're doing this because we want to serve our community and we want to represent the best people with the best ideas that their community has to offer. This is Joel. I'm David. You can't make this shit up. See you the next time.